Yes, we are live.
Uh, do you do an introduction or anything, Wazim?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I'm just making sure.
So let's wait 1 minute so people let them join us.
Oh,
1 or 2 minutes,
excellent.
and then we
Where's
start
this live streaming from?
from StreamYard or country.
Oh no,
Country
where is it on LinkedIn, Facebook?
Facebook group, our Facebook group.
Ah, very cool. Hello,
Yeah. So
hello,
guys,
ANZ.
yeah, they are coming. They are coming. So guys, today a special guest with us, Mr. Will. He is the founder and CEO at Palavix. So I'm very happy to invite you on the podcast. Please go ahead with
Ex
your.
Heck yeah. Well, hey, Wazim, thanks for having me. Excited to be here. Bellavix is an Amazon marketing agency, so we specialize in helping brands scale, doing what we consider full channel management, which is
Oh,
support around operations, marketing, brand protection, and advertising. And we've been doing it together since about 2018. So excited to be here to dive a little deeper into some of the tactics we use to help our partners succeed and have a great conversation with you.
cool. Cool. That's awesome. Amazing. So, guys, today we will discuss about Amazon Prime Day because Amazon Prime Day is already on the way on the road. So people are ready to killing the sales. Obviously, we are excited as well. So today we will discuss about Prime Day, campaign structure, campaigns, keywords, coupons, deals, everything. So please go ahead and shed some light on your experience, please.
Excellent. Well, as you guys all know, Prime Day 2022 was announced as July 12th and 13th, which I believe is a Tuesday and a Wednesday. And it is going to be pretty busy. It's equivalent to a Black Friday or Cyber Monday, and it happens in Q3, which is exciting, very early on. So in at this point, because Prime Day is only a few weeks away, I mean, when it comes to advertising, there's opportunities, but logistically, as of June 20th, you should have your inventory already in the process of being checked in onto Amazon. You would have updated any of the back-end search terms you wanted updated that you might be trying to rank for, whether it be broad or something specific, while staying in Amazon's terms of service. So don't go put your competitors' brand names in your backend. And then from the marketing perspective, April is when they close Prime Day deals. So deals like lightning deals or best day deals specific to Prime Day. But you still have the ability to run coupons, discount codes. If you're running any off Amazon traffic and your brand registered, make sure that you're enrolled in Amazon attribution and that you're leveraging the brand referral bonus program, which is your opportunity to get the 5 to 15% back on fees that Amazon would normally charge on any purchases made from off-site traffic
Oh,
driven to the platform. So, super high level, we haven't talked about advertising at all. But just so everybody's on the same page, we're at the finish line now. So Prime Day is around the corner, and it's actually the perfect time to start implementing some advertising strategies in order to help you prep pre, during, and post Prime Day to maximize your customers' experience and, of course, maximize sales, which is the goal we have whenever we do anything on for Amazon Prime Day. Um,
so what do you think for the inventory stuff? Like, what do you think for the inventory? Like, let's say for the Prime Day, the people, the sellers, I know some, I mean, some people personally as well, they are very excited from the Prime Day and they are ordering the huge inventory. Already they have ordered it and they have shipped to Amazon warehouse. What about those sellers who they have very lower inventory, or I mean, just they are keeping the stock to stay in the stock? What do you think about those small and giant sellers?
Yeah, so for the smaller sellers, I mean, obviously you have to work with what you have. This is an opportunity for you to create fulfilled by merchant FBM listings so that you can make sure inventory is always available. And if you happen to run out of FBA inventory because sales are doing so great, your FBM listing can pick up and you never actually lose any sales as long as you have inventory stateside or reasonably close to where you're shipping from. So I think that that would be a way to play it. The other thing, if you're sending in FBA inventory, and it might be a little too late, but I mean, we generally estimate like 2.5 times more sales during the 2-day period. So depending on what your daily sales rate looks like, it should kind of give you an idea of how to forecast a little bit. For most categories, not all categories, Q3 is normally kind of a lull period. A lot of people going on vacations and their discretionary spendings tied up to not e-commerce things, which is totally normal. So the best advice is kind of plan, have extra inventory. If you miss that window, make sure you do fulfill by merchant, FBM listings, leverage the third-party logistics company to kind of help fulfill those orders. Or if you're operating out of your garage, nothing wrong with that either.
Well, this is a trick. To be honest, I mean, most of the people, they don't know about it. They are just worried, like if they do not have the inventory in their FBA warehouse. But you have nailed it, as you said, that if you do not have the inventory, go with FBM model, which is exactly, if you're on listing, you're not doing anything. So that is awesome, good. How about when it comes to advertisement? How are those, like, for the conversion rate? What do you think that conversion rate go down? How about the click through rate? How about the ad spend? Because and people, they are running coupons as well, deals as well, and so on things. Okay.
Yeah.
So this will be more beneficial, or advertisement will be more beneficial, or organic ranking will be more beneficial in this.
I mean, across the board, you want to compete on all ends. So, I mean, the ideal scenario, if we're talking about it, is that a shopper comes to Amazon and they search your product category. Let's just say it's like baby bottles, for example. So it's searching in baby bottles, and they're presented upon their search a display banner ad that has your brand. You show up in one of the first 2 ad locations that show up on the top of the page. And then ideally, you have products in the organic ranking. So when we talk about top of page, or I forgot the term, but essentially the top half of the page is that prime real estate. And you want to make sure you're maximizing your effectiveness there. There's an SEO joke that I'm sure you guys, your audience, may have heard, but like, where's the best place to bury a body? It's on the second page of search results, because nobody ever looks there. So it all plays together. But what's really different about the Amazon advertising, or Amazon as a platform that's different from maybe Google or Facebook, is that Amazon uses sales velocity as a mechanism to achieve organic ranking. So therefore, we can use our advertising spend to be strategic on specific keywords in order to achieve organic rank. And we're building that flywheel, or the Amazon halo effect, that a lot of sellers and thought leaders like to discuss when they're talking about Amazon.
Cool. Obviously, Amazon, in this kind of sense, obviously, top of search will play a more major role, organic ranking also, and SEO, obviously, SEO, your back end, your front end, everything, no doubt, everything will play a major role. So in this kind, there is one other thing. I just saw a post on LinkedIn that, now you can bid according to Prime Day. For example, there is 12 and 13, there is Prime Day, and you can choose the bids for that Prime Day. But that feature is not available on every account. It is just in USA on few accounts, beta. So what do you think, like, how it will impact on that? I mean, sales and kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be busy. Conversion rate should do pretty good the day of. I'd imagine you'd see some type of improvement. I'd have to double check our numbers, but I think, like, to generalize it, expect a 35% increase in conversion rates on the 2 days for Prime Day, the first day being better than the second, has been our experience. I mean, in general, from last year, we now have the brand analytics brand search query dashboard. We have the full funnel analytics, so we can see what we're doing at each phase of the funnel of the purchasing process and how we're relating using all Amazon data. So, I mean, this year compared to last year, we could be a lot more strategic. We could be a lot more efficient. Best practice on our end has been to generally launch new campaigns just for the event and keep uh,
Gotcha.
the evergreen campaigns that just
Gotcha.
run all the time going. There's no reason to do any crazy manipulations
Gotcha.
there. Generally, we'll build out portfolios, and based on the size of the catalog and what we're advertising, will dictate like the structure of that.
Exactly.
But the goal is to, not to interrupt too much because it's only 2 days. It's a big 2 days, and we start prepping like now. Yeah, now pretty much. And I'll talk about the preparation process now in order to kind of make sure that we're maximized for max impact with that increase in demand. And to give you guys some perspective, as last measured, there's 200 million Prime members, which is large compared to like Walmart, who has Walmart Plus members are around 11 million. So there's just a drastic difference in the size and gravity of this sale. But keep in mind, it's a flash sale. It's only 2 days.
So at Belavix, obviously you are a CEO, you are managing everything. It's a huge role. At Belavix, how do people are managing the quality? Because I know many of your clients, many of your, I mean, the reviews as well. I mean, you deserve appreciation. So
Yeah.
how do you manage the quality and that kind of stuff? Let me know some tricks as well.
Yeah, I'm happy to share some love. I think the best thing, so I'm a big believer in Traction, which is a Gino Wickman book, and they give a lot of processes about the entrepreneurial operating system, and it's like how to build sustainable processes to deliver consistency and quality work. So we've taken a lot of those concepts and applied them to client management. And a differentiator for us compared to some other businesses in the space is that we're we're small business and we're boutique, so we focus on quality interactions and choosing to be small and work with certain styles of brands. We mainly work in the beauty and supplement category.
Cool, cool. So let's take a question. Seems Keller, if I have two brands associated with the same account, can I sell
Okay.
one of them, or rather, what do you sell in a possible sale? That brand or account? Thank you. Well, to
Uh,
be honest, like the people they have multiple brands on one account and they are using it. But when it comes to one selling brand, what do you say, Mr. Rose? Like, but please shed some light.
Yeah, definitely. So I'd say this is a really great question. And if you are in the position of selling your brand, congratulations. I'm sure it's taking a lot of work to get here, so something to be proud of. When it comes to you're selling the brand, so I would split it up because then you have more assets too. Selling the account, unless it's really going to be worth it, or they're complementary businesses. So I guess it depends the structure. So we have worked with companies that are tiered, where it's like an entry level product, mid level product, enthusiast product. Think like your metal detectors or even your kitchen appliances. So like if that is your brand situation, you might want to sell those as a package because they feed into each other as marketing channels. But if they're two completely separate entities, you built the store around widgets A and then you built the separate store around widgets B, two separate audiences, or you're in a private equity situation, you're going to want to sell the brand. And it gives you and when you sell the brand, you go through all the legal paperwork, and that's out of my wheelhouse. So that's not what we handle. But when it comes time for you to take over the brand on Amazon, you know, they can just sell your products through your account. So all you need to do is go to brand services through brand registry, have them transfer over ownership of the brand to your Seller Central account or your brand register account through brandservices.amazon.com, and you would take over that way. And then all the ASINs are in there. There is a process to get A plus content. There is a process to transfer the storefront. So like there are things you'll be able to do. And a lot of that comes after the brand registry is transferred, and it's through case management. So you'll be working with the seller probably for 30 to 60 days after sale as you're kind of aligning these different aspects that need to be aligned so that you could take over the brand and own the presence on Amazon. And it's similar on Walmart and other marketplaces. So you don't need to take over their email address. The reviews stay with the product. You're not going to lose any reviews. It's just redirecting on the back end of Amazon that, hey, I'm the new account owner, and this is who has contributorship rights to the ASINs in this catalog.
So, but there's one more question. Like, let's say, for example, the two sellers, two different sellers, they are running coupons, deals as well. What do you think? Who will get the more visibility? For example, a seller who is giving like 10% off, and the other is giving 15% off. Because I have seen many sellers, even in the last year as well, like they are not even having, I don't know how, but the people, they want to see more sales, but when it comes to margins, they shrink their margins. They are giving more coupons, more percentage off, more limited deals, but they are shrinking their margins. What would you say about them, about those people? How they should play with that strategy to keep the margins as well? Because if you are shrinking your margins and just to stay on the top of the search, that means you are just spending money doing some hard work, smart work, but you're not making money. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
in this
agreed.
kind of in this kind of
Yeah,
stuff, sorry, no, sorry, in this kind of stuff, because I have speak to many Amazon sellers, there is only one stuff they want: lower echoes, increase sales, which is not,
yeah,
and
that's
after
true.
that, yeah. And after that, when I talked to many sellers and I told them, if you are spending more on top of search, if it is for ranking purpose, we do understand. This is only for ranking purpose.
Yeah,
But if you are spending, you are ranked and you're not getting sales, come on, come down. Product pages, rest of the search. Or even if you are getting from sales from the second page, top of search, it's fine. You need to look at where you are profitable, not actually where you are spending.
yeah.
So how would you say? How would you shed some light on this kind of question?
Yeah, I'd say we're in consensus, and I think it's a really valid point. A lot of people get profit driven, and at the end of the day, it's a full funnel approach that's going to grow your brand on Amazon. Ranking is a part of it, but ranking strategically. I mean, at the end of the day, you can't rank for all the words, every keyword. Competition exists. It's a marketplace. So, I mean, for Prime Day, to be perfectly honest with you, we are recommending that all of our brands run at the minimum some type of coupon or promotion percent off. Customers are on the platform during that 2 day period looking for sales. The week up to it, or the 2 weeks up, the week up to it, realistically, they're adding it to cart. They're going through their shopping habits in preparation for the sales. You're catching a lot of people who are, you know, uh, advocates for Prime, and they buy. The average family spends $1,100, so they're dropping it on Prime Day. So it's something to just a good reason to run promotions during the Prime Day event. During the regular year, like seasonality, we normally run a promotional strategy, but we have worked with brands that they just don't discount their products, period. Maybe because it affects MAP pricing with some of their retail partners, so therefore they can't run sales on Amazon unless it's discounted across the board. And in those situations, excuse me, you obviously have to kind of adhere to what the brand value is. Are you a premium brand? If it doesn't align, that's okay too. And then from the advertising perspective, like advertising's a part of it. And a KPI we like to use across the board is TACOs, total advertising cost of sale, which is total spend divided by total sales, organic and advertising. And that's a really good indicator of because we like to use TACOs to kind of get a baseline of what does it cost pay per click based on the maturity of the products, the brand equity built up. What's our baseline? Okay, targeting branded search and targeting product searches, your listings convert 25% at a 10% TACOs. And then I could come back to you and say, all right, how much room do we have to grow your brand? Because everything outside of baseline is mid to upper funnel. It's capturing new customers in, and it's building that lifetime value. And then the conversation becomes, all right, 20% TACOs is what you can afford. Great. We're going to use that, and we're going to implement a programmatic strategy, or maybe we'll do some search and kind of build audiences that way. Once you know what that, I mean, maybe you just run crazy discounts and that makes up the other 10%, but you could be strategic and really intentional with how you capture new audiences, and tacos is what we use, that and cost per acquisition. So depends on the type of brand, but generally those are the two major metrics we use when we talk about growth. If we're talking about efficiency and just being more efficient, then it's ACOS all the way, and that type of mentality makes sense. But it's not a growth mentality, and most people in the Amazon game talk about sales because they want to grow. 50% of e-commerce happens on Amazon, right?
Yeah, just in the a month before, one of my clients, he wanted to liquidate his inventory actually because it was not selling well, and he came to me and he said that he wants to sell out this inventory because he is paying storage fees and like that. So I told him, getting the sale on Amazon. I mean, almost we you are experienced. I'm experienced. We know how to play this out game. We know this stuff. So I told him getting the sales is not difficult, but the thing is actually when we are selling the units, how much you are going to make, right? So, but he didn't. I mean, listen. So I put the coupon, like let's say I should put for 20%, but I put for 30, 40%, and the orders got boom. So this kind of thing in the prime day specifically, especially when you are in the prime day and you are giving more coupons, more deals, more percentage off, that means definitely you will get the boom as well. But the thing is how much you are going to get. You are shrinking your margins because you want to see your more sales.
Yeah.
And the
It,
subscribership, how do you think that how sorry, go ahead, sorry.
no, subscribe and save. Happy to answer questions about subscribe. It's interesting you mentioned mistakes made. So I had an account, a beauty brand we work with few years ago, and it's really interesting. Like, let me throw this back at you. Like, do you think that running coupons, for example, could have a long-term benefit to your total sales for a specific product?
Well, if you're running a long-term coupon on your product, that's not going to be beneficial. In my career, in my Amazon services, in my experience, it's not gonna work because see, let's say if you are giving a coupon for the whole time, only coupon, how it's gonna be work? It will never. So you have to work for the whole stuff. Not only giving the coupon, it's not gonna make sense. It will give you benefit for some time, but if somebody is coming in front of you or against you are giving like more percentage, more lower price and more discount against you, then what you will do? It's happening. It's happening all
Yeah.
the time. It's happening. Even I am facing a problem in the US as well. Same product. I mean, let's see. Our price is low, and we are giving more percentage off, but our competitor, its price is okay, higher than us, and coupon is all percentage is also lesser than us, but he is getting sales. We are also getting sales, but we are not getting the margin,
Yeah.
right?
They got they
Again,
got to get
again,
out of the mentality of lowest price is what's going to sell their product. That's the problem.
yes,
Race to the bottom.
yes, yes.
Yeah. But
So we cannot say that doing same thing will give you the benefits. No, if somebody will come in front of me and say like run the coupon for the whole Amazon life, no, it's not gonna work. You have to go with the obviously there is from A to Z. Choosing
yeah.
the product, doing the SEO, finding the product, develop the product, do the advertisement, build the audience inside, outside. There is so on so many things. Just
Yeah.
only running the coupon on a product when you launch and you are thinking that. But if, for example, if you're launching a product and giving 80% discount, that is also not gonna make sense.
Yeah.
So this kind of
Yeah.
I never seen this. Seen this is beneficial, but not for a long time. Never for a long
Yeah, I agree, and that's the thing with the coupon strat. And the reason why I asked you, so an interesting story. We ran sorry, I'm getting off camera. We ran a coupon for not Prime Day, Black Friday, Cyber Monday on a beauty brand like 5 or 6 years ago. It was a while ago. And one of the improvements they made, but this incident happened before the improvement, was you can't double dip on coupons. So now there's kind of a setting that somebody can't apply like 2 discounts at once to get a free product or something like that. But in this example, we took a product that was a mediocre product, and we had a promotion going, and that promotion should have stopped, and the Prime Day promotion should have picked up. what happened, both promotions ran at the same time. And essentially, we gave away 3,000 units of a product because it turned out to be free. And first you're like, wow, that's a huge mistake. And it was. And we put, you learn from these mistakes. But something to come from that is really interesting. This was a mediocre selling product. We gave away substantial units. It's not a very expensive product, so 3,000 sounds like a lot. It was like $2,500 worth of inventory, so it wasn't an exuberant amount of product. We still gave away a whole bunch. Did you know that for the following 6 months, this was between the first, second, or third best-selling product in the catalog? Uh, you know, just continuous, because once we had that momentum and it picked up whatever ranking it needed to pick up around specific keywords, we were able to maintain that momentum, and that has become one of the more popular products on Amazon. So I wanted to call that out. So it was a big mistake of like, do you think coupons has some type of impact like that? They do indirectly because they influence sales velocity, and sales velocity is the number one metric that drives ranking. So that incident, while it was costly and at first it looked like it was a black eye, in the long run, ended up being a really good move for us, and we made more than enough of the. We recovered the expenses from that short term mistake. So we're all human and accidents happen. This one happened to work out in our favor. But I thought I'd share. So like promotional strategies, should you be running them? Like absolutely, as long as it aligns with the brand, and coupons and discounts and social promos, like they all have an impact in the long-term game of like getting better ranking, more efficiency on advertising, and building your brand to Amazon shoppers.
Exactly. Giving some like even it's the Prime Day, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I always told them like clients or my friend sellers that for, you go with lightning deals that will help you. You go with
Yeah.
coupons, you go with limited deals, you go with advertisement. You will have more rankings. That's okay. You understood it well. Even it's a Prime Day, the bigger brands, bigger sellers, as you just explained, they just want to see the sales. They do not care about. But obviously, everyone learns from the mistake. It happens every time in the life. So we all are learning from the mistake. So it
And something
really,
that you brought up, lightning deals. I'm really glad you said lightning deals. So like most people, when your experience with lightning deals, are they generally profitable? Like, do you recommend them across the board if I was working with you?
well, the lightning deals definitely work, but again, you have to give the discount. Again, it will shrink your margin. Okay, so you can say that you can use it sometime, and you can ignore it sometimes. I mean, not you. If you want, you can use it, but you have to. I mean, convince your client. For example, you are running a 7 days lightning deal. Okay, so you have to calculate forecast that how much you are gonna make after this, right? So that the thing your client will let you know that okay, go ahead or not. It is beneficial, but it will shrink the margin as well.
Agree. So what I'd say is I would say work it into your tacos so you don't have to ask for permission from your clients to do things like this. For us, it's just worked into our budgets that we present, and it makes it a lot easier. So generally, when we run lightning deals outside of like major holidays, they tend to not be so great. They vary. Sometimes they time out really well, and $10 ROAS, great investment, glad we did it. Other times, we don't even make our fees back. um, but what we have found, and why it's important to incorporate into your promotional strategy, that it does indirectly increase that sales mechanism. You also work directly with Amazon and pay a little more into the system, and Amazon is a pay to play platform. And we see that over the long run, they do make sense. They turn out to be wildly profitable. So, what I have found working with a lot of clients is that they'll come back and say, hey, I don't want to run lighting deals anymore because every time I run them, they never do well. And it's a very short sighted way to look at deals that are run directly through Amazon, and having more of a long term approach, and also shifting the mindset over to metrics like tacos will allow for you to take more control and ownership of what happens in the accounts you work on, and you being more responsible for delivering results, as opposed to having just get stuck in bureaucracy, because like that's the most frustrating part. And the best part about being an agency owner, you can avoid that. I mean, it's why you run an agency, right? Oh no, I lost you. Hang on. Can you still hear me, Wazim? Or you're muted?
Oh, I
There we
was
go.
saying,
I can
sorry.
hear you, sir.
Sorry. I was saying really it was a great, awesome session, and obviously I have learned something personally from you as well, and in the session as well. When obviously when the people like you, obviously when they explain something or when they come on the board and they share something, what they are using tactics in their company to make it successful, that's really helpful. Podcast I will upload definitely on YouTube as well, so more people can get the benefits from this podcast.
Heck yeah, Wazzy. Well, yeah, thanks for having me. I'm glad you found this really useful. If you ever want to reach out to me directly, you can find me at bellavix.com, or check me out on LinkedIn, Will Hare. LinkedIn, I post something pretty much every day. I have a weekly news update, so I stay pretty tapped into the system. It's part of my job, running an Amazon marketing agency, right? So if you're interested in more content around that, definitely reach out. And of course, Razib, thanks for having me. I mean, anytime, I'm happy to come back on and share some knowledge.